interview, and we've got another young man here today to speak to you, to answer some questions. So, first of all, what's your name? How old are you? What's your job? And what role do you play at Red Kite? And how long have you been training for, if you can remember?
So name's Will Walker. I'm 23 years old. Job at the moment is working at the Nutfield Health Centre over in Preston and also in the Army Reserves as well. Um, Job at Red Kite is a, how do you put it, part-time training instructor, I suppose you could put it. And I've been training in Thai boxing for about 6 years, on and off for about 6 years, 6, 7 years.
Groovy. Right, so tell us why you started Thai boxing then, mate.
Started Thai boxing. Originally, I got into MMA after it was my brother got into Thai boxing first, and I wanted to do something different. I didn't just want to copy him. Um, Got into MMA for a year. That was good fun, but I preferred the striking element to it. Then the MMA club closed, or rather moved. I then moved to what was my brother's club, Thai boxing club. Got into that and stuck with that for another 2 or 3 more years, before then coming up to Preston University and joining Red Kite for the last 3 or 4 years.
Groovy. So, tell us who inspires you the most, or who has inspired you the most to do with regards to your fitness, and why? So, who's your biggest inspiration? I think I might know the answer, but I'm just going to see.
Right, I'll give you technically three because there's been different ones over the course of my fitness journey, if you will. The very first one, who's the reason I got into fitness, is an American called Tony Horton, who's about 61 now, but can still do 21 pull-ups and run half marathons and all sorts of stuff. He's a ridiculous guy.
Yeah.
Um, he his fitness journey himself he didn't get into till he was in his 40s, and then went from being a very unfit person to an absolutely ripped person, and owns the P90X brand and other home fitness brands, which is how I first got into it as a kid when I was about 16 years old. So when I was younger, I got into basically just fitness, and then from that went into Thai boxing. The next two are more recent ones. First one is David Goggins, who's a American ultra athlete
I thought you were going to
slash
say David
ex Navy
Goggins.
SEAL. Say again?
I thought you were going to say David Goggins.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, David Goggins. Absolutely really ridiculous guy. If you don't know who he is, just YouTube David Goggins. See what you can find. There's ridiculous amounts of things on him. And if you get a chance, have a look at his book or audio book called Can't Hurt Me. That's a crazy book, which is a mixture of his life story and his accomplishments and all sorts of stuff. And the third one I'd say is a bloke called Ross Edgley, who's more of the scientific side of fitness. He's got a book called The World's Fittest Book, and is about to release another one called The Art of Resilience. Again, incredibly fit person. I'll hold several world records, but in things that you wouldn't normally know he'd do. Though he's a powerlifter and a weightlifter, he also holds the world record for swimming around the UK. I remember how long it took him, like 130 something days to swim around the UK. He rope climbed Everest, ran a marathon pulling a mini, and did what he called a triathlon, so an Olympic triathlon but with a tree on his back.
Sounds a bit like what I've been doing in lockdown.
Yeah. So pretty overall, they're just pretty awesome fitness fanatics. So Tony Horton, I'd recommend for anyone. David Goggins if you want to do something ridiculous, and Ross Edgley if you want something a bit more scientific based.
Brilliant. That's just the sort of stuff I'm looking to hear from you. Okay, so the next question. What is it specifically about Muay Thai that's led you to kind of move into this particular sport? Because you're obviously quite a sporty guy. What's it that's moved you into Muay Thai and keeps you there?
First one, it's always challenging. It's as challenging as you make it. One of the big reasons it's so challenging as it is, as with most competitive sports, I suppose, is that you don't go at your pace, you go at other people's pace, especially if it's the pad holder or if it's someone inspiring. Whereas if you go for a run, once you get tired, you can slow down. If you're doing other fitness, you can take breaks. When you're doing Thai boxing, you can't,
Yeah.
which is good. So you're always getting pushed, which is good fun. It branches over as well into a lot of other forms of fitness. If you can do Thai boxing to an okay level, you're generally pretty fit at most things.
Yeah.
Though there's always little tweaks you can make everywhere with all sorts, but it overlaps into a lot of different types of fitness. Like if you did Thai boxing and running, you'd be pretty much set in terms of fitness. You'd have a crazy aerobic capacity, your heart would be awesome,
Yeah.
and you'd be pretty damn strong. Another one is discipline, because it does take a lot of self-control and a lot of organization in order to do that level of training, that amount of it, whether it's training 4 times a week or training once a week, if you've got family, if you've got friends, if you've got work or other commitments. If you're going to commit to something like it, you've got to have a lot of your other little things in order first.
Right, groovy. I'd agree with all those points. Okay, what would you how would you say that your military training has helped you with the Thai boxing and the coaching, if at all? I'm pretty sure it has.
So fitness is probably the first one. As I said, Thai boxing overlaps into a lot of things. If you could draw a Venn diagram and have Thai boxing and army fitness, there is some overlap. I found Thai boxing overlaps more into the army than the other way around. As Thai boxing trains you, gets you good at being aggressive, gets you good at controlling the aggression, gets you good for the really intense short bouts of activity. But along with stuff with the army, there's a lot of long distance stuff that doesn't really correlate with Thai boxing, but I found Thai boxing does help with the army. Where the army fits in with Thai boxing, again, discipline comes into it. Mindset is a really big one. As pointed out by David Goggins, too many people quit before they're anywhere near. Well, his saying is, when you think you're done, you're only about 40% done. And the army, through the training that they do, has a great way of making you realize that, both in yourself and in other people. And provided you push yourself, they'll make you capable of doing all sorts of crazy things, fitness-wise.
Yeah.
Stuff that you never thought you'd be able to achieve.
Yeah, that's something I've seen in you more than anybody else that I've trained. Much as loads of people have got brilliant work ethic and work rate, your mindset over the kind of physical and mental kind of the pushing and just not stopping and not giving up, that's just like seems ingrained and I'm into your brain, and I'm guessing that's from the military.
It's definitely helped it. I noticed the first time it was ever mentioned was back when I did MMA, and because I was a very keen wrestler and striker, I loved the wrestling. And I remember my coach saying, "You've got a I'm not beat until I'm beat attitude." And the army just tries to emphasize that in everyone, because if you give up, then you're probably going to get shot.
Yeah.
But if you take that and bring it into fitness, you start to realize you don't really have excuses to stop, or you don't have excuses to not try or not succeed, and it's just laziness at the end of the day if you don't do it. So your attitude when approaching things, approaching problems, approaching fitness, the military helps with a lot. And understanding that realistically it's not that bad. All you have to do is break it down. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to get tired, but it's going to be over in an hour, regardless of how bad it is. And the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to make you do it again. And you've already done it once, so you can do it again.
With the endurance course that you've put together, it's clearly put together to push people physically to the limit and also condition the mind as well. I know it's been the people have been doing it and continue to do it and continue to get better. And I know from training fighters that mindset, if you can instill that into a good Thai boxer, then they're only going to get better. They're only going to be more successful. So I'm excited to see how people, when they start coming through the ranks, are benefiting from your knowledge and your experience in the endurance and such like. But moving on to the next question, look, dead quick one, and I think I know what the answer is going to be. What's your go-to exercise and why? If you only do one, you're in lockdown, and you have to tell somebody to do an exercise, what would it be?
It's going to be burpees, isn't it?
Burpees. Same as Dom.
Burpees, because it's like several exercises in one.
Yeah.
Very good strength exercise, very good for conditioning. And I mean, if you can do 200 of them continuously, then you're going to be sure as hell fit.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's probably going to be my go-to exercise of choice.
And before we do the silly questions, just finally, have you got any specific tip, like any one word of wisdom, Will's words of wisdom that might just benefit everybody, especially in the lockdown periods, and while everybody's stuck in, is there anything that you can think of or want to say to anybody just to keep the spirits up or keep them focused?
There's a really good quote that I like that goes, "Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there."
Oh,
If that makes sense.
who said that? Who's that?
So it's just an army quote. I don't know where it's from. It's just something we got told.
Say it again, Will.
Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there.
Yeah, I like that
So it's a
one.
great place to live, a great place to exist, but you're never going to thrive and you're never going to improve. If you only do the stuff you're comfortable with, you're never going to get better. You got to
Brilliant.
do the stuff you hate if you want to get better.
It's brilliant. Right, okay, now the really important stuff, Will. We've got the quick fire round. Okay, so quick fire. What's your favourite dessert?
Banoffee pie.
Oh, another banoffee pie. It's a 2 for banoffee pie and 2 for burpees. And guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Probably eating chocolate digestives with honey Greek yogurt.
I've never had that. That's something that I might have to try now. What's the most embarrassing thing that you've ever done?
Oh Christ. Did a dance off with a teacher when I was in high school in an assembly or something. Probably something like that.
Brilliant. See, I just think that's awesome rather than embarrassing. If you had all the money that you ever wanted, what would you get with it?
Buy loads of forest in the mountains somewhere and have like a massive outdoor gym.
That's brilliant. And this is the crunch one, final one. Kiss, marry, or roundhouse kick. Okay. And we've got David Goggins, Rambo, and Dom.
Well, I'm gonna have to marry Dom because he'd be such a good house husband. Like he'd take care of you. He's a very good cook. After that's hard. I have to kiss Rambo because Sylvester Stallone's just beautiful. Let's face it. And roundhouse kick David Goggins because then you could say you roundhouse kicked the hardest man in the world.
Brilliant. I love it. Oh, that's good. It's my favourite one. Trying to think up with the best people for people's kiss, marry, or roundhouse kick. Hey, listen, Will, that was boss, mate. Thanks very much for giving.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for giving everybody an insight into your background and joining in with a bit of the fun there. Thanks, Paul. And I hope you're doing well in your lockdown, surviving and getting.
Yeah, in this lovely pit of isolation we're all in.
All right, pal. Thanks very much, mate. Catch you later.
No worries. Catch you later. Thank you.